Okay, so we're doing a little bit of thinking on the spot, some impromptu beekeeping today. We found that one of our overwintered nukes is very, very weak. Looks like a mouse got into it during the last week, and they're down to maybe 100 bees, but the queen's still alive. We'd really like to keep that queen, those genetics, because we know she can survive a winter. Just so happens we also have a weak swarm we caught this week. They're only covering 2 frames with an unknown queen in it. So just like we did with the newspaper combine, we want to try to remove this queen and put a known genetics into it, put a known queen into it. So we're going to go through this hive, the swarm. We're going to find and cage the queen temporarily. We're going to keep her alive just for a bit because that nuke is so weak, it's not going to survive long enough to do a newspaper combine. They have no stores, they have nothing. So we need to get something done today to keep that queen alive. So we're going to take this queen out, put her in a queen cage, set her in the shade, keep her alive. Then we're going to leave the swarm set for a few minutes. We're going to let it know that it's queenless, but not so long that they start absconding trying to find her. And then we're going to take the known queen, put her in a queen clip, and set her on top, and just watch it for a minute and see if they're trying to sting her through the cage, kill her, or if they're trying to accept her. If they are trying to accept her, then we'll just let her go and kill the other queen and we'll be good to go. So yeah, we'll get going. Okay, so this is the very weak hive. We'll just show this to you quickly. We're going to cage the queen, and then we'll move over to the swarm. So it was pretty weak last week already, and then it looks like a mouse got in. We had a cold snap this week, so the mice were looking for a place to stay, and he kind of wreaked havoc and ate all the brood, ate all the pollen. So that's 80% of the bees that are left. But we do have the queen, so we're going to try to save her now. Grab her. Okay, got her. Smooth, first try. We'll stick her in a queen clip. And she'll be fine for a little bit. Now we're going to close this up.
Just wind up shaking it out anyway.
I think we should do this. Do this. Well, not that exactly. I'm leaving this off a little. That way she's in the shade and some bees can come up and attend to her. And now we'll go deal with the other hive action. Okay, so we just smoked them pretty hard. We had a little earlier too. So I'm going to open this up and we're going to see if we can find the swarm queen.
Again, completely unknown genetics.
Give myself plenty of room to work. And I'm going to look at every bee on here. I can still smell that swarm commander we have in here. Don't believe she's on this frame. It's a little bit harder than normal to find swarm queens because they're smaller. There she is. Actually a nice looking queen. So she's right here. She's laying an egg right now.
Cool, so even if they kill her, they'll be fine. They'll be able to raise queens off of the eggs.
I'll let her finish and I'm going to grab her too. Okay, so we got her. Not gonna kill her just yet. I'll put her in this queen cage. And because impromptu beekeeping, put a wax plug in that. And she's just gonna go over in the shade for a bit.
I'm gonna just lay her right on top of where the bees are.
Yep. So we're gonna just put her, the queen from the existing hive, right on top of them. And then ideally we're gonna give it a few minutes here.
Just lean the lid up across.
I'll just take the other cover and put it over. We'll cover them up so she doesn't dry out. The bees won't be able to kill her through that. And we'll just leave this for, I don't know, a minute or two.
Hopefully they won't be able to kill her through that. We'll see.
And we'll come back then and open this up together and see what's happening. So we'll see you then. Okay, so it's been a minute or two now. I'm just gonna pop it open and see. You can normally tell what they're trying to do. So we'll just watch here for a minute. If they're trying to kill her, you'll see them balled up, like pointing their stinger down in, trying to get at her.
Well, they can actually get in at her, and they're not doing anything.
Yeah, they're being fine. So we're gonna let her go right now.
Well, put the frames up and then let her go.
Yep. So we don't want to leave the swarm trap here. So we're going to move the frames into the old hive and put the old hive back here so we catch all the foragers out right now back into this box.
And hang the swarm trap up for another round.
Yeah, and we'll catch another swarm this week with this box. If you want a swarm trap on your land and you live in Lancaster County, call us up. We're going to keep the bees together. I'm also going to slide them a little bit closer to their entrance than they are now. Take the queen, set her there, put everything back together so I don't risk smashing her.
Bees are being real gentle.
And now I'm just going to open the clip and let her run out. There she goes.
That one wasn't happy about it.
Yeah, that one was balling her up a little.
It's alright, it's probably mostly nurse bees in here. They'll accept her.
We might come back. Might leave it like that. We might open it up before we leave again to see if they're balling her up real bad. But that's the best we could do because we couldn't leave the queen any longer because she had too few bees to keep her alive. So that's how you keep a queen alive.
So we're back a week later, and we're just gonna peek in and see if we can see a queen, see if we can see eggs, and hope they accepted her. If not, we should see signs of queen supercedure because there had been eggs in it last week, but we're about to find out. I think the inner cover came with it. Did. Sound quiet, it's a good sign. Try that out later. Nectar frame. This is a foundation frame. Lots of nectar. No sign of eggs. But they seem to be covering further in, so that could be the edge of the brood nest. Hey! Look what I see running around in that frame. So that worked.
Check for laying, I guess.
Oh, she's on here.
You notice how much bigger she is this week.
Mm-hmm. She got really well fed up. So against all the advice of most of the beekeeping literature I've read, it appears to have worked, just dumping the queen into a swarm. So who would know? Who would have thunk it? But yeah, we're happy with it, and we'll just keep an eye on her and see how she goes from here.